questions on your table about visibility. And the question for today is, how can we enhance the promotion of art and communicate its value to the wider public? So we're going to go through like the same way we did yesterday. You can go however you want, the who, the what, the how, the why, the challenges, and the recommendations. Because we have a very short time, what we're going to do is we are going to leave only 5 minutes, six-ish minutes, for each group to summarize in just 1 minute. 1 minute. So while you're discussing, find one person who will be like very short and precise, just like the highlights of what you guys discussed in your group in 1 minute. So we're going to start now, and after 15 minutes, we'll do a checkup to see how far you guys have gone, and then 5 minutes to time, because our next session is the panel discussion. We will do the summaries. So I think, guys, you know how to do this, right? And it's just the new group today. So how do you feel about that? How are you feeling, guys? Okay, let's do this.
To summarize yes, in 1 minute, so we have to discuss. She was reading the theme. Okay.
Basically, we're going to work with 30 minutes. For 1 minute, so minutes on there.
It's the theme. All over.
What is really something
so you summarize it in the what? Like in the what? As an art, all the art.
Situmii, nilikuwa nataka nitumie lakini wewe.
The ministry as a promoter, the ministry ensure the performance of the state administration compliance with the general.
So that is more like government support.
There's a ministry as a promoter. The ministry.
The ministry.
To have maybe regulation, international conventions. regulations and international conventions.
Policy on art. International conventions. I was wondering, use it on the field.
So you don't equip on my work most of the time. You're connection with me as well. But then give it now, it goes shoot them. So I need some
You mentioned technology.
Sababu unaweza kuangalia kila kitu sawa, wewe ni mchezaji mmoja sana hapa Tanzania, lakini kama ukishapata idara yako unashatumia yote kusaidia kwenye yaani kujulikana. Sasa kama hujapata pesa yote, yaani umetumia idara yote kununua labda msosi hapo basi, yaani haijakusaidia. Yes. Yes. Yaani hapo ni muhimu sana. Yaani yeye ni mwigizaji lakini hajulikani. Yani haibaki. Inapotea ile haya.
Sasa swala hiyo because sometimes people buy something chance when I wear
but now to take myself out of my own out of that space.
Share, engage, imagine if teaching and painting inside the house, now we have like that.
Damn, the collaboration. Okay.
Hata kama mtu mmoja hapa ana project ambaye unaweza kusema kwamba namfahamu hayo yanajulikana kwenye Instagram. Ukiendelea kuongea na wasanii wenzako unajulikana zaidi. Kama kuna wasanii wengine ndio hata Instagram wanakwambia yani mimi ni photographer lakini situmia. Lakini kwa sababu najua watu najulikana. I think those are two different things. Kuna julikana kwa social media na kuna julikana kwa na hiyo ndio Instagram yako inaweza kusaidia lakini sio kingine. Wanaotumia kama
and communicate his value to the wider the one who made his value. Artists say it's like a lot of them. If you think about it, communicate his value to a wider public.
The question says that how can we enhance the promotion of art? How can we enhance the promotion and communicate its value?
I think it's still, we have also gotten the how.
No, this is much.
Well, what did you mean about communicating value?
Now, copyright issues come there.
No, you're talking about the arts still, Hassan. That's all right. We are talking about the arts. But now we are discussing how can we promote, enhance the promotion of the arts so that we communicate it to the wide public. So who is communicating that art to the, so
Answer that. How? Tell us, find a way
to come back to the root.
Come back.
Yes, and then we started with what?
Mtu wa drums msaidia hilo.
Okay, in our how, we talked about the communication.
Kila mtu hapa
We talked about.
yani kazi. Simone.
Okay, so you see, you can use the mediums, curators, right?
Hasa yule jamaa ambaye anajulikana anafaidi kwa sababu hiyo kazi nzuri ambayo tunafanya wote. Sababu hiyo ndio kusaidia. Yani kwa nguvu yako mwenyewe utafika sehemu fulani lakini unashindwa kufika. Wanakadi watu wengine kusaidia kuna mimi wengine kwenye wote. Hapo ninapata yani real work. Maana yani stuff like tukutane.
No, okay.
Kama huwezi kubaki nyumbani, usipite nyumbani, utaweza kuendelea. Utabaki tu kusema jamani, yani sijui wasanii sijui tufanyaje hapa. Kumbe wako tupo, lakini inabidi tujitoe.
Let's hear what you have to say.
What's my I guess what makes like
Training software huwa inatengenezwa kwa kompani
Are you dancing for yourself? The contemporary dance.
kwenye maka kuna plugin inabidi uwe nayo.
Yeah, you're not dancing in your room.
Sasa kwenye maka kipengele kupata kwenye hiyo fresh. Ona, kwa unaweza ukapata pia wimbo ukaona kuna vitu kabisa hapo na baada sana kwa ila plugin inapatikana kwenye maka tu au kwenye hiyo ya kwa hiyo lakini hiyo plugin imepata sema kuna version ya Max kwa wingo zetu wewe mwenyewe unajua hali yake ilipo nzito.
And I'll tell you this, you were telling me about duration of dancing. How can you go back? Because that is an hour. So that it can be seen value because of listening to us and hearing. He was talking
mzuri hapo, namwambia bwana twende studio tukawe shoot kazi. Yaani nimefikia jana tu, kesho na hapo nipige lakini hizo jamaa maana hii shoot. Yaani international ilikuwa tunafikia editing, tunafikia post process, tunafikia caption au basi tunaona
the way that
hapo kweli mbona mzuri. Kwa hiyo right kidogo hapo. Yaani
they know they can try even without trying to find
3 months.
that we can just organize it and then they can just read that and learn how to do it. So if we can put it in a better way, can really yes, because at the end of the day, that's the advantage.
5 minutes.
Yes, it's competition.
Okay, yes, so the value part comes
Speak the language.
Artist. As an artist, that is a work however you express yourself, definitely how you
these people are in the same level, but I don't know, maybe something like that.
anakumbuka jina yako, ameshamwambia mwezi uliopita kwamba naondoka. Ukija tena anakuita hapo, anasema basi inabidi nirudi kwake. Yaani social skills ni muhimu sana. Hata wewe ukija yani wewe ni furahi na unakuwa furahi. Kama kuna wewe zako na ndio zako kama how you kwa salama gari bado vizuri kwa mambo mengine, kwa sababu hata ukiwa biashara ni mwalimu kuelewana na binadamu wenzako, yani uweze kufanya kitu chochote. Yani so the better you are at that, I think I might come and say, you will do it.
Which of those three have you gone to?
Right, yeah.
Utamuuliza nini? Unajua kama
confidence kwa kweli. Bila confidence kwenye usanii wako utaenda wapi? Inabidi ujiamini kwa sababu unaenda kwa client unamwambia sisi kama tutapenda lakini naomba unipe pesa. Unaenda hapo unamwambia bwana jielewa kwanza. Ukishajielewa ndio unaweza umepata kama yako na mfano
They find challenges and solutions.
Yeah, you want to have time from
Yeah, I think yes. We shouldn't limit from the organization too, from a private organization. They give you loan and then like create your art in this type of way. So maybe.
you know, like, okay, how many K5? Take one year.
No, I think we can generalize. You know what? I'm like for government in our case. That's why I get all the it's hard to even time decisions wait for that long. So it was like their solution. Artists art, yes, artists art. That has been granted.
lazima ukae chini. Kabla ya kila kitu lazima ukae chini. Kama
place ambayo imekaa kabisa kwamba lazima kuwe na lazima kuwe na story behind kazi yako, lakini pia lazima kuwe na story behind you. Lazima hicho kitu kiwepo, alafu lazima usitende that. Lazima usitende that. Baada ya hapo katika vitu vingine vyote vitakuwa
ndio anatokea na endelee kwanza mimi mwenyewe kwanza photography hata kama yangu nilishajua kama hii jana kama kuna application tofauti, kuna moja wa magazeti, kuna moja wa fashion, kuna moja wa portrait, kuna moja wa nini, kama hapa kuna events pia, lakini ukiendelea kama dancer, kuna how many different types of dancers? Kuna mmoja anasema mimi mwigizaji, lakini hata uigizaji kuna mmoja wa TV, kuna mwingine wa filamu, kuna mwingine wa play, kuna mambo kubwa sana. Unajua hata kama you're saying yani it gets so big, hata kwenye music, yani you just go now, lakini ukishajielewa huwezi kurudi nyuma tena. Ndio uzuri wake. Ukishajielewa kama kuna kitu kuonesha huwezi kusahau.
But I think that one is around the and I think I listen to the how are you? That's also hard.
Where are you from?
I don't
We're just discussing what helps promote visibility and what helps tumeongelea kuhusu vitu vinazuia kujulikana, lakini hatujaongelea vitu ambavyo so we've been discussing negative, like what stops it. We haven't talked about what helps. Lakini no, lakini nimesaidiana. Kama you know what not to do, then do it. Yeah. But I think we're about to come on with it.
Because at least like done more.
My idea
That's true. What to do to the environment. That's
instead of having like 5 people
Oh, that's about being smart. Yeah.
So in the groups, remember to choose that person who's going to summarize, like the highlights, in like 1 minute. So it's like an analysis of the communication. Just one out of the group, our
because they're not fully there, they don't understand. And then they're launch programs every day on the internet. So, the kids and then but they can be the same kids that have access. So it's hard to we have something more that's what I was even trying to say.
Mbona tumwangalie vile ni I'm a film director.
Now I remember. Sorry, what you said. Yeah, sorry.
Why I say that? Because there are some laws and regulations
I'm just checking now.
that promote
Exactly.
dividing.
It's at least like 70 minutes. Please finish one. Oh, wow, it's fun. Thank you. It's fun. Yeah, 100%. Thank you. Are you still around for the rest of the conference?
Also,
Huh?
startup fund because the other projects.
Oh, you're taking
low margin.
So we also want to have them for them.
Quantity things have to compete each other.
Hey guys,
Quality of make a lot of artworks, but still not
number 4, then we go to book number 1. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Read precise as much as you can.
rated as their capability art, issue of law, reforms in the sector which affect
Okay, so we were very efficient and went very quickly, so and we generate a lot. So let me try the 1 minute. What in terms of visibility? It's visibility of art, yes, but the sector, like arts as a sector, arts as a valid form of work, arts as having value, and visibility of artists themselves. In terms of how, we of course spoke about social media as one channel, one range of platforms. We spoke about making art spaces as a way, as a path towards visibility, and that's to build community, or that's intrinsic with building community. We spoke about possibly campaigning or building campaigns, and that's maybe towards campaigning around a specific topic or a specific community issue that can connect to the arts and that can also concretize the impact and relevance of arts to society. We spoke about mediation between artists and society, so that's kind of between artists and government, or artists and public sector, artists and audience, to help to sometimes arts and artists can feel distant or sometimes considered elitist, or and so then it's necessary for mediation to help to transfer what is the artist is saying, or what their intention is, or what their work is about, to different communities. Who can participate in visibility? So that's, we spoke about like influencers on social media, of course artists themselves. There was a little emphasis on government officials, and maybe that there is a need to create policy that can support or demand kind of integration of the arts into society. So maybe when new buildings are being made, or if there's particular events, or so government policy that kind of puts the visibility of arts in front. Why do we need this? To help make the role of the artists more prominent, more secure. We need it for purposes of cultural preservation and to audiences. And recommendations, we spoke about a kind of big conversation in different ways, really around collaboration, working together, building community, so to connect, to share resources and skills, and to also, when working together, having access to different communities. And being creative with your funding and your visibility. So also one can think about kind of standard ways around visibility, like marketing or kind of directions, but also this is the creative sector, so one should approach the ideas of visibility in a creative way, of course.
Thank you, welcome, group number 1. You guys were very eager to start.
Yeah, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
You good?
Yes.
Yeah, representing the winning team. Round of applause before I start. Recognize. Thank you. So in a minute, or now for us, we decided to take art. Check. If you can hear me clap once, if you can hear me clap twice. Yeah. So we decided to take art as a product. It is actually. And in any product, if you want to sell it, you must be mindful of the 7 Ps, the
production, the place, the commodity, and all that, you know. Now, for each and every artist, in order for you to sell your craft, people do not just buy whatever you're selling. They normally buy your story. So you're supposed to know why you're doing what you're doing, so that even other people or other stakeholders, for them to come on board, they must be able to buy into your ideologies before they buy your craft, right? Yeah. An applause, and let's give a clap once. Some of the recommendations, like what she said, it's more or less echoing it, we're on the same frequency. Collaborations, art exchange, like this one. Makofi and NAFASI, clap once! And matters promotion. Now, under promotion, you have as an individual, like if you want to promote your craft, but at the same time, we have the audience that we cannot be able to interact with. Let's say the ones who don't have access to the virtual space, our immediate neighbors, you know, the community. So we're supposed to have like functions or events that they can come on board and understand what we do as artists. Now there was a challenge, I'm sure maybe you've discussed it, maybe you've not. When you go to online, there's normally the question of visibility in terms of numbers and impact. You know, you can run a promotion, you can create an ad, and you have a lot of numbers, but there's no impact. You find a post has like 500,000 likes and maybe 12 comments. So will that have achieved your goal as an artist? That's an open-ended question, and you'll answer it on yourself. Yeah. And the last point, scarcity creates demand. It always has. So for each and every artist, like, you're not supposed to be too available. Your value will somehow degrade. So watch on that. I believe that was a minute. Thank you.
You just made the cardiac poet. Okay, so are we getting another performance from the next group?
Yeah, so representing number 2, we've been at some very interesting examples. So talking about how we make a value. Yeah, so how can we make the value of arts visible? And then of course, going with the question, who do we want to make the value of art visible to, right? So you really have to think about what is your audience. If you host an event, who do you want to sell your art to? So we had 2 examples. One was a film festival in Zanzibar, where the audience was actually the local community. So you have to think about what do they want. You really have to think about the interests of your audience, and then you want to meet their interests, right? So if you want to invite maybe governmental people, why would politicians want to engage with the arts, right? You have to make sure that you figure out the interests so that you can invite them to your events. So what are we going to do in order to present the value, to make the value of arts visible? Most of the time we'll be hosting events. You need to have exhibitions, you need to have arts fairs, you need to create festivals, right? That's what we're kind of talking about. And for that, you really have to include the interests of the people you want to reach, so to make sure that they come. And so some of the challenges there, again, money, funding is a big deal, right? How are you going to go about that? There's typically like just a few things that you can do is either self-funding, or you try to get a governmental fund, which again is only going to work if you make the value of arts clear to the government that you want to reach, so they'll have to come to your events. Or you could also reach out to the private sector if you know any companies who are willing to advertise for you. But again, you have to make sure that you create a win-win situation. So you want to figure out, you know, what is it that you can give to your key audience, to the people that you want to work with, in order that you're going to help you out. So we also had like a second example of art that was created to make an impact on community and like showcase social issues of the raping of children. And that was mainly helping. So the issues that was discovered was that it happens on their way to school. So it was very important that teachers would come to the event, right? And would come to a discussion together with parents so that they could showcase this issue. How do you make teachers want to come to the event? So there was a creative idea of, you know, making it an auction. There was one painting that was showcasing the issue, and the artist decided to sell it on that evening and promise the teachers to make a donation partially from that money to the school, right? Then you meet the interests of the teachers. Again, if you need a location, let's say you want to exhibit in a hotel, you could go there, you could say, listen, I don't have money to pay for the location, but do you need my artwork as decoration for your rooms? I will give you that, and in exchange, I can maybe exhibit a few times a year here, I can use your location. Or you could say, I want to exhibit here in order to sell my artwork, you can keep 30% of what I'm making. So you really want to make sure that you meet the interests of the people you need to work with in order to make it a success. And if you feel like the people are not coming to your event, you have struggle marketing, we also figured out like one possibility, because one of the issues was that always the same people go to the arts events, right? It's not really reaching out of that, so we want to be thinking outside of the box. You have to go to other events yourself then, right? Because the best way to make your passion clear is to engage with people. Again, network. And therefore you want to go maybe to political events. If you want to have people from the government joining your events, try to go to political events if there are any accessible for you, and try to engage with the people. Make it clear why you are passionate about what you're doing, so that they can know you, that they can help. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
The next group. Those looks.
Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on about 3 to 4 main points that came up as undercurrents as we were discussing. So one of the things that we came across was that it's very important for the communities and the participants that we're engaging with that they feel a sense of ownership. Otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere in terms of marketing. And part of that long-term strategy also includes understanding the specific cultural context or the societal context that you're working within. So for instance, you may only be getting 2 to 3 likes on Twitter, but then those 2 to 3 likes within the specific context you operate in translates to 1,000 people showing up at your events, and just specifically for that context that you work within. And that also means that your metrics of success would have to look differently to other people who may be gauging their success off those social media posts, because you can't do it in that way. Another one was that it's important for us to be integrated within the communities that we're working within. So, example off the top of my head, my dad's a doctor, and he owns a private practice in a village in Botswana. But in order for him to reach the people that he needs to reach and to also help them, he also has to work in collaboration with traditional healers in the area. And that can also be translated in art. So it's like, okay, there are artisans in the communities that we're functioning in, so how do we actually integrate and not just use them as, because we're doing this event, we're including them in this, but that be a sustainable, lifelong engagement that we have with them. Another one was the importance of people seeing the art around them. So something that Offman's organization does is that his painters go out and they do live paintings. So anyone just walking by is seeing them paint the seaside, paint the road. It's like, oh, okay, what's happening here? And growing that kind of curiosity and fascination. And obviously they'll talk to some of the people and they'll be led towards the event. And the last one was coming to peace with the fact that you're not going to reach everybody, because you can't realistically cater for everybody. But then also there are people who don't want to engage with that content for whatever reason. It might just be you have a different agenda that you're pushing than they're interested in. It could be a cultural thing, could be a religious thing, whatever that is. It's also coming to a place of peace and trying to define who your market is, but then also understand, okay, I'll reach the people that I can and do the best at that.
Thank you. So we are left with 2 groups, right?
As we mentioned, the institution we're going out to show people what they do, to bring the message to the people through art. I have an example of Kwamta Foundation, based on Arusha. They go out on the street, painting, drawing, dancing, and singing, so that everyone who passes by can see what is going on. So it's the one who makes people.
Thank you so much. And just to mention, Nafisa, who's one of the founders of the KONA Foundation, was part of the 2021 curatorial calendar. So she also passed on the hands of the class.
Group to the question, how can we enhance the promotion of arts and communicate its value to the wider public? I think for the who we were primarily thinking about artists, curators, and arts managers.
You have a very soothing voice.
Better? Better?
Better.
Okay. So for the who, we were primarily thinking about artists, curators, and arts managers. And then that translated to the how. We talked about technology as a way to publicize work, and the specific example given here was thinking about artists and the opportunities for them to directly sell their work on websites, etc. We also talked about partnerships with different arts and culture and social institutions, and in that way to be able to reach different audiences. So for example, with the musicians collaborating with other different artists for that to have cross-industry audience. We also talked about the artist's responsibility to innovate and make work that resonates with the folks they're trying to reach out to as well. We talked about governments and ministries and what are the possibilities around policy, but also conferences and workshops, kind of like what we're doing today. And in the world of applications, we talked about building toolkits such that knowledge that is building toolkits, but also having good access to materials such that people can be able to access the work and for the challenges, we talked about accessibility on different levels. We talked about, for example, urban versus rural divide, making it available to focus on urban areas. We also talked about how the digital can also be relating, such that yes, it allows for connectivity to everyone to the internet. So how do you also still have in-person engagements? And then we talked about economics as well. And that had many, many layers. We find that sometimes visibility is also for entry level, it's easy to get funding, if you've been doing work on that. Rather, for entry level, it's harder to get funding because they want you to help the concept, but you can so to be able to create more opportunities spaces. And then our recommendations were, I guess, to very much define the different roles in the art industry such that the artist work would create, the curator would then the part that disseminates that work, the arts manager the entire ecosystem. And we think in that way it's going to be a better world machine such that not one person is doing everything. We also talked about collectives and startups and how that could also be a space for greater visibility. The example given there was also in a universe in which governments become more involved, thinking about tax breaks and policies. And then the last recommendation was also artists to further innovate, which I think speaks to what we talked about around how we create more ownership and audience participation in making a collaboration.
Hey there, guys. My name is Joe, and I'm from the best table right here at the back. Save the best for last. All right. In any case, we had it in a few points, and I'll try to breeze through. One of the things we said was understanding of business is important. I think. Okay, sure. Testing. Awesome. Okay, so we said that an understanding of business is really important. It's all well and good for us being artists, but I think we can all agree that being able to make money from our art or some sort of profit is really needed. And this understanding of business is talking to clients, being able to advertise yourself, being able to know how to market your work is really important if you want to take yourself to the next level. Consistency is another thing that we discussed. I do photography, and I've been doing it for the past 8 years, but I can imagine if I had only taken one photo 4 years ago, I wouldn't be able to get much buzz from my work, because there's no consistency. It's important for us in whatever we do to constantly keep doing it, because we never know what's going to happen on the one day that someone sees your work. We said lack of interactivity with our fellow artists can also kill you. If you're, for example, just staying at home, and I can again speak for myself here in Tanzania, I used to always tell myself that I couldn't do certain types of projects because I didn't have certain artists around. But right here all in front of me, I've got dancers, illustrators, filmmakers, and now I have a realization that that was never true. I was just isolated from everybody else. So being able to interact with your fellow artists is really important if you're gonna be able to go forward. Collaboration, just like everyone's been saying. We also talked about it being necessary to understand the benefit of long-term planning for projects. It's not enough to just try and, I don't know, think of something the day before and then do it after. You might get good results, but I guarantee you that the person who's been planning their product for a month or so longer will be able to execute their vision in a much more thorough way. And I think even for me, taking a longer term approach to my photography work has improved my work by leaps and bounds, instead of just seeing someone random and just shooting. The last one we said was, okay, introversion can be difficult. It's not simple for everyone to just come and say, go network. But with that being said, we said that a solution is to just try your best. Even if you can't introduce yourself to everybody, it is always worth trying to find one person. Because that one person might be the person who introduces everybody else you need to know. And then that's all. Thank you guys.
Thank you. So we will be moving to the next session, which is the panel discussion. This panel discussion will be inviting grantees from the Field 3 grantee from last year and the year before that. So before we start, Rhoda will give an introduction about the Field 3 grant, so everybody can get to know about it, and then we'll invite our grantees, and they'll sit somewhere here. But at the end, everybody will also have a chance to ask them questions, because they're also sharing their work, but they're still discussing and sharing more info about the theme of the day. So you have a lot of like meeting points and things of that sort. So I would like to welcome Rhoda to give us an introduction of what Field 3 grant is for those who do not know about it.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What happens to Annie? Good afternoon. So, my name is Rhoda Kufanyika. I introduced myself yesterday that I'm the past partnerships. So one of the things that I do, both it's me and Aika, we are coordinating the grant for Field 3. So Field 3 grant, it is a grant supported by the Swiss Embassy and the Norwegian Embassy. It is managed by NAFASI ARTSPACE, and we give support to individual artists, groups, institutions, and other art practitioners dealing with art and culture in Tanzania to implement and realize their beautiful, amazing, creative projects that they have, which will both benefit themselves as artists and as well as the audience. So that is in short what Field 3 grant is. And the first grant was given in 2020, and most of the grantees we had 9, and they implemented their project up to June, July, May of 2021. And last year we selected other 4 grantees implementing their projects this year. Today you get a chance to meet them, and we'll have a panel discussion with them, and they'll come and say what they do, what their projects are about, and somehow you get to know what the grant is, and also they'll be telling us how through the grant they will be able to visit the art and cultural scene. So I would like to welcome the 2022 grantees.
Let me start introducing all my words from where you're coming from. UBT, please come and take a seat. And I'll sit there.